topic is going to be regarding veganism and how to navigate through social situations as a vegan. What do you do when you're invited somewhere that doesn't have vegan options? So I assume that that is a restaurant situation. Maybe you're invited to a birthday dinner, maybe you're invited to a staff event, whatever it may be. If you're invited somewhere that doesn't have vegan options, well, I think it depends on whether you know beforehand or not. If you do know beforehand, then I always eat before because I'm like, I don't want to starve, okay? I better eat something. And then maybe you can go there and get like a side of fries or like get something. Because it's always awkward when you're just sitting there and like everyone else is eating and you're like, here's my water. Like, you probably want to get like something to eat. And I always look at the menu and see if there's any alterations you can make, right? So there could be a meal that could potentially be vegan, just like minus something. Try to look at the menu beforehand and see, okay, like, is there something I could alter? Or maybe you can put some sides together. You could get like a side of fries, side of salad, I don't know, something. Obviously it's not ideal. I don't really enjoy those situations where I have to like make a meal out of like a bunch of sides, but you know, you gotta make do with every situation, like whatever situation you have. So yeah. How do I stop feeling high maintenance? I can't see the rest of the question, but I mean, I think I understand. So how do I stop feeling high maintenance when, you know, I make requests at a restaurant or I tell people I'm vegan at a restaurant or something like that? When I go to a restaurant, I am very aware of how I am being perceived as a vegan. I feel like we as vegans, we are kind of a bit responsible in a way of showing the world how vegans are, right? So however you behave as a vegan in certain social situations is going to be very important, I feel, because most likely you're probably one of the only vegans that a lot of people know. Obviously, you can act however way you want, okay? You can do whatever you want. But if you want to show veganism in a, I guess, relatively positive light, you want to be behaving in a certain way. You don't want people to think vegans are crazy or difficult. At least for me, I want people to see me and think, okay, you're just a normal human being and you happen to be vegan and you're living your life and you're doing a great job. Like, that's what I want people to see, because that is, I think, one of the best ways to promote veganism. So when I go to a restaurant, I really try my best to not be difficult. I don't want to be difficult. You know, I've worked at restaurants before for many, many years and I hate people that are just unnecessarily difficult. So you don't want to be that person. I think the number one thing you need to do is be very, very, very polite and very grateful. I'm like that anyway when I go to a restaurant or when I'm dealing with the service staff. I am extremely polite, or at least I very much try to be. You know, I just think that that's just good manners in general. You don't have to be vegan to be like that. I just always believe in being extra nice. Like, why not be nice when you have the opportunity? And that way people are much more likely to want to help you when you are extremely polite to them. Another thing that I do is I just say, hey, listen, like, I just have a question. You know, I follow a vegan diet. You don't even have to say the word vegan. I actually rarely say the word vegan. I think I use it a lot more now because I'm more confident with using that word now, but a lot of times I'll just say, listen, like, I don't eat animal products. Like, I'm just wondering what I can get on the menu that doesn't have any animal products. I would really appreciate any guidance. Like, if you have any advice, like anything on the menu that you think is good for me, let me know. A lot of times people don't even know what a vegan is, so you will have to kind of explain and like kind of walk them through it, which is fine. Just be polite. I think that is the most important thing. Even if they're not that polite to you, try to be polite to them. Kill them with kindness, as they say. Another thing with restaurants, here is what I do. And I know some people might be like, oh my God. This is what I do. Truthfully speaking, like I said, I'm always hyper aware of how people will perceive me as a vegan. How will the wait staff, how will my friends perceive me as a vegan? And how will they perceive the vegan lifestyle based on my behavior and how I react to certain things? So when I go to a restaurant, I don't ask for the ingredients list for every single potential product that is in this one dish. I'm not as concerned about the micro ingredients, if you will, when I go to a restaurant. When I buy food at a grocery store, of course, I will check ingredients and I will spend all the time I need to do whatever. But when I'm at a restaurant, I try to get rid of the obvious things. You know, obviously it has to be fully vegetarian and I don't eat dairy and eggs. So can you make sure that there's no mayo, make sure that there's no cheese on this, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you don't have to feel like you are being high maintenance. A lot of people have allergies, a lot of people have dietary restrictions, so try to just be polite about it and not be super duper obsessed about being a pure vegan. Being a pure vegan is more hurtful to veganism in the long run because it makes veganism seem super unattainable. Everyone that is looking at you right now is thinking, how the hell is she living like this? Because I do not want to be that person. Nobody wants to be that difficult person at the restaurant that is making the waitress run in and out of the kitchen. I think that part of being a vegan is not just making sure that nothing that you ever eat touches an animal product. I think part of being a vegan is, you know, trying to navigate through your life in the best way possible without harming animals. And that's how I do restaurants. That's just my perspective, but everyone's different, obviously. And obviously you can do whatever you want. How do you not feel isolated from humans in your life in general? I don't know any real life vegans. Okay, so here's the thing. Guys, listen. This is very important. Very important. Let me just have a sip. Intensely. Veganism is not your entire identity. I repeat, veganism is not your entire identity. It is not the only thing that defines you. There are many, many, many things that define you as a human being, and veganism is just one of them, okay? Veganism is just now one part of your identity. It does not have to be your entire existence. This is so important. A lot of people look at me and they're like, oh my God, you're such a normal person. Like, I've never met a normal vegan before. I'm like, I bet you there's a lot. You just don't see it because people are not parading around being like, I'm vegan and that's all I am. Genuinely, people think that your identity like completely changes and you become a different person when you go vegan. This is not true. I am still the same person. I just happen to be a vegan person now. Of course, that changes some parts of your identity, but does not have to be the entirety of your identity. You can still do the same things. You can still enjoy hobbies, activities. You can still go out and see people, see friends, watch movies. You can do every single thing that you've ever done before other than eating animal products, going to a zoo and things like that. It doesn't have to be completely life altering. I'm still the same person. If veganism defined me in every aspect, then I would be identical as every other vegan. All vegans have different parts of their identity that have nothing to do with veganism. Look at vegan YouTubers, for example. I am different from every single other vegan YouTuber because we all have our own individual lives, individual identities, individual families, individual stories. We're all different in our own way because veganism is not the only thing that defines us. Please don't let yourself feel isolated just because you're vegan. This is just one part of your life. This is just one aspect of your life that is indeed very important, but it does not have to be the only thing that matters. I only have like very, very few friends that are vegan. All my close friends right now in my circle in this moment are not vegan. Does that mean I'm gonna stop hanging out with them? Does that mean I'm gonna cut them out of my life? Does that mean that I can't fit in with them? Of course that doesn't mean that. I still hang out with them. I still do things. I'm still a human being. I am still a human being. I'm still living my life. I'm still doing whatever it is I was doing before. Remember that. I think that is one of the key things that I want you to take from this is that you do not have to feel like this is the only thing that defines you as a person. You are a multifaceted individual, and so is everybody else, okay? You have to remember, just because somebody eats meat does not make them a terrible human being. I mean, that's a whole new topic, but they are still multifaceted individuals. You can still, you know, have very good relationships with non-vegan people. My family typically shares food around the table. How can I control their choices? Okay, well, don't try to control their choices, okay? It all boils down to communication, letting your family know, okay, like, I'm vegan now, I can make food for you guys once in a while, it's all gonna be vegan. If you wanna eat non-vegan stuff, you can bring your own non-vegan stuff, you know, make your own something. Now for me, with my family is not vegan, but anytime I go to my parents' house, they'll just make vegan food. They've come to really enjoy a lot of vegan food. So we eat a lot of delicious vegan food at my parents' house. Like, I'm telling you, like, it is like a buffet every single time. It is great. So I think over time, as your family warms up to the idea, they're gonna be more open to trying vegan dishes. Honestly, it might take a lot of work because you'll probably have to cook for them a lot, but make them some delicious food, and they might open their eyes a little bit. So don't try to control them though. Like, don't try to change them. Don't try to force them to go vegan. That is pretty much one of the worst things you could probably do because people do not want to be forced to do anything. So even if they might be open to the idea, you gotta let them, you know, you gotta let them make their own choices. What recipes to cook for non-vegan guests that everyone will enjoy? There's so many things you can make, guys. I've got a lot of recipes. I really like making lasagna. That was always a really, really big hit. So I'll leave a link to that lasagna recipe below. But there's so many things you can make. You can make tteokbokki, which is Korean rice cakes. Oh my gosh, that will always be so popular. Honestly, I've got lots of recipe ideas, so check out my recipe videos. There's a lot of food. I feel like we always think like, oh, non-vegans will not enjoy vegan food, but if it's good food, they'll enjoy it. Your taste buds don't automatically just become like completely different when you become vegan. Okay, you still enjoy, you know, similar flavors that you would otherwise. I feel like you shouldn't make them like a green salad because then they're gonna be like, bitch, what? Just anything that's hearty, delicious. Any sort of vegan comfort food, I would probably make them. Don't try to bring them like fake meat. I feel like that's like not really the best way to win non-vegans over. I think the best thing is to just make a delicious dish that happens to be vegan. Whew. All right, guys, so I think I got most of the questions. Whew. I'm still working on this kombucha. Okay, it's a little bit strong. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That, my friends, that was it for my how to deal with social situations as a vegan video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it at least somewhat helpful. If you know anybody that's struggling with this, then you can send them this video and maybe share some of this advice if you found it helpful. If you are new to this lifestyle and if you're feeling really discouraged by a lot of the negative comments and a lot of even harassment even from people that you love, just remember that a lot of times they will open up after a while and they will just, you know, accept it. I think what you can do is just live the best life that you could possibly live. Stay healthy, eat healthy, and take care of yourself. And you won't even have to say anything. The results will speak for themselves. If you look like you're having the best time, if you look like you are living your life and you look great and you feel great, then that is all that matters, right? So people can see that. You know, people can see that I'm not withering away. You know, I'm living my life. I'm still doing great, fun things. I'm still traveling. I'm still, you know, just doing the best that I could possibly do. When people can see that, they can see that this lifestyle ain't so bad. Yeah, hopefully this was somewhat encouraging for you to watch. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you want to share anything in the comments below, definitely leave your thoughts. And if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! How do you turn down animal products from your family? Do you think you should tell your colleagues you're vegan? How do you approach friends and family who have a negative view of veganism?